Hello, everybody. This is Arunfoot Chaudhary, and you are on my YouTube channel, arunfoot. Welcome back for an earlier than usual live here on my channel. And the ISL playoffs begin later tonight with Bengaluru FC hosting Mumbai City Football Club at the Srikantirava Stadium. And then tomorrow it is Northeast United versus Jamshedpur FC at the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in Shillong. And Mohun, Bagan and FC Goa are in the semi-finals. So two teams qualify from this round and then move into the semi-finals. So therefore tonight, let's talk about those. I'm looking forward tonight to watching the game. I'm here in Mumbai on work, and we'll be tonight watching it with the Mumbai City fans at the official club screening. So looking forward to that. And hi, Rushabh, welcome back. Let's discuss, let's talk, or generally let's talk what is all happening or not happening in Indian football. These are continued crazy times in Indian football with all that is happening and or is not happening, and therefore let's wait and see what happens. Is the ISL final confirmed? ISL final confirmed, yeah. I mean, dates are set, 12th of April, and it will happen in the home venue of the higher ranked team in the final. So that means only one thing: Mumbai City, as the team which finished sixth, cannot host the ISL final, but every other team amongst those five could potentially be hosting the final. Yes, Rushabh, I am in Mumbai as we speak. Sorry, let me just quickly have a sip of water. So yeah, we've got the ISL playoffs here. Interesting matches, interesting ties that I personally look forward to, because it is something that we will wait and see what happens. Mumbai City have a few injury problems. VFC had a lot of players, and therefore let's wait and see what happens. So therefore, will be interesting to see. It's something that can Mumbai City really pick itself up from injury issues, injury problems, but that's going to be the question that Peter Kratke and his team will have to find solutions to. I mean, those are the answers, and therefore that's his homework. That's the job of the coach, and he's done it quite well a number of times in this season. And Nicolas Carreles is available, so therefore that's the big thing. But it looks like Changte, Brandon, as well as Tiri might miss in this game. So therefore, let's see what happens, and therefore that's the thing. Yeah, Mumbai FC keep an impact on the match today. Then Mumbai City. I think that's the very important thing. Difference between Mumbai FC and Mumbai City. Mumbai FC used to be a club in the I-League. Mumbai City, of course, is the club, and that's it. Where is the screening venue tonight? One second. Before I tell you something wrong, let me just check. I think I posted a couple of days ago. Where are we going? It's the Great Punjab Restaurant and Bar in Dadar. That's where it's happening. Hi, Vignesh. Welcome back. That's where it's happening. Let me just switch this a little. So that's where it's happening, and that's where I will be tonight. No issues, Then. All of us do mistakes, so I'm fine with that. So therefore, looking forward to this game. Mumbai City, to me, have done better away from home, and that's my plus point at the moment, that they have to face Bengaluru FC in Bangalore. Of course, they won in Bangalore a few days ago. I think that's also positive for Mumbai City to look at, and the question now is, can Mumbai City really get the result that they hope that they can get? And that's a win. BFC, of course, will also be looking forward to, and that's and therefore that's going to be a very big ask on both the teams. The same can be said about Northeast United and Jamshedpur FC. Jamshedpur FC, most probably the team which has surprised me and you and all, I guess, the most in this season. And therefore, that's going to be a good question of can Jamshedpur, continue their incredible run in this league, or is it something that they realize that they have to do something different, something better? That's going to be the challenge for them. But to me, to me, it's very, very clear that these are playoffs, one-off matches. I don't think home advantage counts that much. I think that's about who can take the pressure amongst those teams, and that's going to be the test for both the teams. And therefore, I'm not sure if BFC is really the favorite against Mumbai City tonight, and if Northeast United is really the favorite against Jamshedpur FC. Northeast United, of course, very, very happy to have reached that stage of playoffs, and I think they wouldn't mind of getting into the semi-finals, and therefore that's going to be the challenge for them, actually for both the teams, and therefore that will be interesting to see what happens. What's your thought on Inter-Kashi's Church Brothers? Vignesh, it's a very dirty campaign that's happening, smearing of Inter-Kashi, and allegations being made, and on the other side, no one was questioning the old guard of clubs and owners who seem to be playing very, very dirty in this league at the moment. AIFF, I said it yesterday, a lot of questions in regard to the AIFF. I think I said that yesterday. I think if anybody had a little bit of accountability within the AIFF, I think the AIFF itself, the top brass, would resign. I think the disciplinary committee would have to resign. The appeals committee, the player status committee, because the decisions that they've been making left, right, and center, just where is the logic? There needs to be some sort of logic behind your decision making. What are you doing? What are you deciding? And that doesn't seem to be the case. And that, I feel, is a very, very big problem at the moment, because there are ad hoc decisions being taken, card suspensions being taken back, and this and that and everything, and nobody knows why. Because most of the cards that were handed out were actually right. So you are weakening, with whatever you're doing, you're weakening the system. And that is something that I feel is a big, big problem for the AIFF and for Indian football. And therefore, for me, the question arises is, well, how will they sort the things out that they need to sort out? Because this is something which is becoming, in my opinion, very, very messy. And that's something where we are, and therefore, let's wait and see where it all goes. Wasn't aware of the screening venue, else would have booked a spot. This time also couldn't meet you. Rushabh, we will meet one day, surely, somewhere. Chankte, Brandon, and Tiri Cannon available today match. Yashaj, as far as I know, all three are injured. But let's wait and see if someone or the other makes the bench of the three. But as far as I know, at the moment, not available. Virgin says, well, be it AIFF, ISL, I-League, it's all the great Indian circus at the moment. Yeah, it's disturbing, Virgin, to say the least, that what we're seeing, what we're hearing about what is happening in the Indian Super League. And to me, I think it is, I don't know where we will go with this. At the moment, we are in a situation, and therefore that's the crazy one, huh? and therefore that's something. Will be very interesting to see. I'm not sure how this all can be solved, because we have so many problems at different levels of Indian football at the moment, that where do we start, where do we end? Because I tweeted about that earlier today. I said, listen, solving one thing and saying, listen, we restructure the AIFF and new people come in, that itself will not solve the problems. So therefore, and that's the concern, right? At the moment, it looks like Reliance will pull out, and a lot of people tell me they don't think so. I said, guys, be prepared for that, because at the moment how things are progressing, it is very, very disturbing to see that that Indian football could implode in the next 2.5 months, and therefore for me, this great Indian circus, needs to end. and we need to focus on football again. But there needs to be a lot of characters who are involved in football at the moment. They just need to go. They just need to step aside. Heard that India has done a bidding of 68,000 crore for Olympics. Is it true? India has not bid anything. Angry Birds. India has just sent an MOU to the International Olympic Association, and so therefore that might be the overall budget for the Olympics that the government is planning regarding infrastructure development, talent training, and talent development. But I don't know where this figure comes from. I haven't heard about that figure. What should I do? My team didn't even qualify for playoffs. So what should I do? Aditya, enjoy the football. You don't need to worry about things. Just enjoy the football. Sometimes your team is there, sometimes they aren't, and therefore, yeah. Support Northeast United FC, says Aman. Reasons why I'm saying Chennai FC didn't qualify even with a good team, even with big names. Aram, very simple. Big teams, doesn't mean that we will get big results. That's football for me or for you, for all of us. To me, very simply said, team didn't click. I still think that the set of foreigners that Chennai FC have is one of the best in the ISL, but they couldn't get the team working in that way. And therefore, for me, that's why they failed. The young Indians didn't step up. I think that's an even bigger issue, I feel, at Chennai, that they had a lot of young Indian talent, but none of these players actually stepped up and came forward and performed when it was needed. And therefore, if you ask me, those are some of the basic problems that I see why Chennai FC did not make the playoffs. Churchill brothers have alleged been trying to disrupt Inter-Kashi's preparation for Usha game at Deny access to training ground for the past 2 days. Vignesh, they've done everything in the book. The match commissioner has been changed. An experienced guy has been replaced by a very, very experienced guy, inexperienced guy, new referees from Nepal. Training, you're saying all of these things, it's bizarre. I mean, this is old school bullying that used to go on in Indian football in the past, and that's very, very bad. How are Australians good than us in cricket, football, MotoGP, Olympics, and even Kabaddi now? Because they are a sporting country and we aren't. Simply said, Aditya. Sunil needs to step down. Irfan needs to step up for Indian national team striking positions. For how many years you would carry Sunil? Aram, I think in these qualifiers we needed Sunil. I like Irfan. I'm a big fan of Irfan, but Irfan isn't ready yet for that. He needs to step up, needs to get that exposure, and maybe down the road will happen. Hi, Bharat. Welcome back. Should Owen Cole getting sacked after Super Cup? Arman, I think he has a 1-year contract, right? I think that's a rolling contract till the end of the season. Now, if that's the case, if you ask me, I think for the club, the wisest move would be to end that relationship and bring in a new coach, if you ask me. Angry Bird says you will agree with me that Sunil did lose kind of 2 good chances in front of Bangladesh goal. Angry Birds, yeah, and no, good chances, yes, but again, a striker who scores of every chance that he's had in his life does not exist. So sometimes you score of your chances, sometimes you don't, and that's the situation with Sunil at the moment. ID becoming joke. What's happening now? Aram, as I said, the AIFF does not seem to be in control of its own leagues. There's decisions coming out where you think, why is this happening? It's just so bad. Okay, there's a sporting country. We are not. Then what kind of country are we? A non-sporting country. They're very simple. Also, with the recent news of Alex Jovanovic retirement, how was he in your view for BFC? Well, he's done okay, but again, he's been there, but not. There are other defenders, centre backs who played in the ISL over the years who I would rate higher than Alex Jovanovic. Do you think the size of our nation has also really affected the sports culture as a whole unit except cricket? Normally our numbers should be an advantage, but it is a disadvantage, and I think it is a mess because, especially at the school level, there is not much of an emphasis on sports. I think that's a big drawback for India in general. But especially, I think, when we talk about big sports, you need that thing in sports that it is active in schools, and therefore, that it needs to happen, and it hasn't happened. So therefore, for me, that is something which is there, which is a big problem. Right, already 16 minutes, guys. If you're liking the conversation that we're having, if you want other people maybe to join into our conversation, then do leave a like behind, do leave a share behind so that other people join. 6 likes so far, guys. I think we can do better. We've been in the 40s always in the last few days in regard to likes. And if you want to come back for regular content, do subscribe to the channel. We're at 2,467 subscribers. So thank you very, very much, everybody. And thank you for helping me grow the channel, and also watch the shorter videos that I produce on a regular basis. Did something today in regard to the review of the Kerala Blasters. Last few days, of course, a lot on the national team, Manolo's mistakes, disappointment in the Indian national team, the draw, and then, of course, those videos on the clubs in the ISL, be it an East Bengal review, Punjab FC review, Chennai review, Hyderabad FC review, and the Mohammedan Sporting review. So those are all done. And of course, also raising questions in regard to OCI inclusion and all that stuff, things that are discussed. So do watch the short videos as well and help me grow the channel. And thanks a lot for all of that to you guys. So I have a question: how Indonesia including foreign players to play for the national team if they also don't have dual nationality? Vilas, very simply, they're handing out passports relatively quickly, very, very simply, And to me, that's it. They have a sports ministry, they have a federation who are very, very proactive on this matter. Therefore, Indonesia, let's wait and see what happens. But to me, they have a chance to get to the World Cup. They've done it right. They have, of course, an advantage in the Netherlands. There are tons of top-level footballers of Indonesian heritage, and they're pulling out all of these guys. And that's a level of talent that, for example, we don't have. Let's be honest about that. We do not have that kind of talent that Indonesia can fall back on, and that's helping them quite a bit with how they're planning the future. Farooq Chaudhry doing good, but needs that cutting edge. He's a good playmaker. He wasn't for the national team. That game was not good, and he's on and off. I don't think he's a full regular at Chennai as well, so therefore he has to do better. Even if Interkashi fails to win I-League, they still go to ISL. There's no way Churchill brothers can afford ISL. Yeah, let's see, Aditya. What exactly happening in I-League? Hannibal, it seems to be that certain people are ganging up in the I-League to ensure that Interkashi doesn't get promoted. And, they're trying every dirty trick in the book. Very, very disturbing to see that people, are, and I think Interkashi can blame also themselves to a certain extent with Habas in there, with Kauko, with all the other players in there, Marco Barco, for example, or Edmund Aldendika, and all these guys, experienced Indian players as well. Let's see what happens. People who couldn't run our second division football wish to run a national league, which is more widespread and pan-Indian. Yeah, that's a fact. Sarpreet going play World Cup. Yes, Vignesh, Sarpreet Singh, the New Zealand, what am I saying? New Zealand international, former Bayern Munich player, has qualified with New Zealand for the FIFA World Cup 2026, and he will join, so let's wait and see. Who will be those Indian legends facing Brazilian legends? Aram, I saw some posters. I think it has, amongst others, I think I'm Vijayan is in there, and some players of the last 15, 20 years who've played. If you look at social media, you will find the names of the players coming to play. And I saw earlier today, Ronaldinho arrived in Chennai, so that's a good sign. Why did Mano took such step when everything was sorted? What was sorted? Anand, as you're from Bengal, do you think the IFA has been any good for us? Because as we are football Pagla state, we should be definitely contributing more, right? Oh, I had that conversation Thursday with people at the IFA office on this in Kolkata because I feel the IFA could, should, needs to do more. I personally feel that. I feel that they haven't, because to me, the failure of the IFA has been that the IFA has focused mainly on Kolkata and its suburbs. The IFA has never focused on pan Bengal. You know, that's to me their sort of biggest drawback, and that's an issue which they need to look at, which they need to change. And that is something which they haven't been able to do, right? So therefore, for me, that is a big problem, and it will be interesting to see what happens. But I know that they are trying to start certain inter-district competitions, and especially at school level. So hope they can do that, because that is, in my opinion, the need of the hour for for the growth of let's see, IPL hashtag. Okay, Ashu, I don't know what you mean. Do you think that Suryavanshi and Sanan can be national team material in future? But in theory, all of these players could be, but they all need to step up. You know, there are X number of players, that could join that list. We could talk about Isak Ralte, we could talk about Kian Nasi, we could talk, I don't know, about XYZ. There are enough players we could talk about who, I mean, to me, I always say Sunil Chhetri is the prime example. Sunil was a player, when I first saw him come into Indian football at Mohun Bagan, I would have never thought Sunil Chhetri is a national team player, right? And therefore, that's something. Let me see. So therefore, that's something which is there. So that's something which has happened, and and that's something which is a reality. So these, again, there might be players that I have I've not, I don't know now maybe, or I might not count in as players. We've had a lot of surprises over the years, so let's see what happens. By all logic, Inter should get 3 points, right? Because it's either AIFF or Namdari's fault, which caused issue for Inter Kashi, right? Yeah, Anmol, my understanding is that as well. Sir, can't we apply the same model of Indonesia to our ISL foreigners who are playing here for years, like of TD, by giving them passports? Vilas, they're not giving passports to foreigners, they're giving passports to origin. And foreigners getting Indian passport is something which India has not done. I mean, remember Chima Keri in the 80s wanted an Indian passport. He was never given one. He's told me the story a few times. He's married to a Bengali woman. He used to live in Lake Gardens in Kolkata. Chima was never given, and Chima went on to play in England, right? So, he went on to play for Sunderland, for Grimsby Town. Would have been a great story, but no, we never did that. When I'll buy OFC, I'll bring you as the club chairman on that. Okay, Aditya, wish you all the best with your plans. Julius Duka, the biggest mistake by ISL clubs. Julius, I think, had a season at Chennai, enjoyed himself there to some extent, but I think he wanted to go back, and therefore that's what happened. So you put IPL players. Okay, sorry, my mistake. Roshan also. Thanks, Aman. Thanks, Roshan. So sorry, I don't know. I remember when I was creating this, I was talking to someone about something. Anyway, says, they really don't tap Durgapur school students. As I'm from Durgapur, an inter-school football tournament, the competition is common. I really became sad that if they got just scouted and guided. And that's what I'm saying. No? Bengal, you're talking about Durgapur. No? We're talking about the Bardhaman belt. We could talk about Malda. We could go further up to Shiliguri, to Darjeeling. Now Darjeeling, I saw that there are plans to build a proper football stadium now in Darjeeling. We could go even to Alipurduar, that corner, to the tea garden belt. So therefore, and that's why IFA, oldest body in India, but has never really taken care of Bengal football. That's the reality. It has been Kolkata football. Maybe it has expanded to Kolkata and suburbs these days, but it is not Bengal football. That's the problem. Hi, Akash. Akash, as the ISL playoffs are starting off today, and someone actually requested me yesterday, said, "Hey, Dada, could you do maybe something before the playoffs start?" Because I said I will be heading to a Mumbai City FC screening tonight. And that's so therefore, therefore a 3 p.m. kickoff of this live in Mumbai today. IFA and our government are extremely Kolkata centric and never tap on other cities. Yeah, that's one of the problems, right? I believe FSDL could have easily finished the playoffs and wrap up final before the start of IPL and international break. Why they intentionally clashed with IPL, I don't see the logic. Okay, interesting that you see it that way. I don't see it that way because the point was that the league has grown over the last 2-3 years, and since then, since having more than 10 teams, the ISL schedule just didn't fit. The ISL starts earlier than it used to. It used to be a second week, third week of to October start. Now it starts in September, but you have to factor in the AFC competition slots. You have to factor in the FIFA match dates. And therefore, it was clear that once the league becomes a 12, 13 team league, that the ISL cannot be finished by the mid of March. So that opportunity, that ship has sailed, because then the ISL as a league needs to finish by end of Feb and ask the coaches, for example, East Bengal with its commitments of playing 2 matches in the AFC Challenge League. All of that would not have been possible. Hi, Simon. Good to see you back after exams. I hope your exams went well and you are doing fine. Can we see IFA taking care of the rest of us except Kolkata? Angry Birds, I hope. Again, I was told that is supposedly the plan of the IFA, but I don't know if it will happen. So therefore, the IFA has to prove that it can do it, wants to do it, because that's the challenge I think that they face at the moment of taking care of Bengal football, because I see the IFA with its struggles of trying to run in good football in and around Kolkata. That itself is not easy, but given the realities of how they are structured and how they are run. But again, to me, they need to be pan Bengal. It is, even the IFA name is a little deceptive, because they're not Indian football. They are Bengal football. Let's see. Bengal desperately needs Bengal Football League, African to Calcutta Football Association. Akash, yes, on one side, yes, but there have been attempts. Even I was involved in an attempt to start a Bengal league in 2013, not the one with all those superstars names, if you remember, 2012, 2013. But after that, and it just failed because the investments were not there, right? You needed the infrastructure investments. You got to stadiums across the state. You need the infrastructure investments into the teams. And the monies that people talk about in an Indian football context in regard to even a state league, a local league, or even now a super league like Super League Kerala, the monies are ridiculous. Cricket reach is strong in India, but there is no much rate of careless Hindi Apple commentary. And look at Indian football reach, we are at the lowest point. We can't win matches against Bangladesh. Bilash, the reach of cricket and the reach of football to compare, I always say let's stay out of it, because it makes no sense, because cricket is an obsession in this country, what I realize. Do the people really follow it properly? I don't know. I've seen a lot of people who keep it on and actually don't watch it properly. So it is more of entertainment. It is like you're watching, I don't know, Netflix or Hotstar or Disney or whatever. And therefore, from that perspective, that is that. And we again, beating Bangladesh has not been a strong point. But this has been, I think, the 5th draw out of the last 6 matches we played against Bangladesh. So therefore, that's also a reality which you take. Angry Bird says, Ronaldo and Durgapur, one thing extremely good is the very pure football grounds in the township locality. Yeah, I remember my Pishi, one of my aunts used to live there because her husband used to work for the Durgapur steel plants. I've been there in the past, seen that thingy, but you have to utilize it, right? And that's the point also, that the IFA then needs to have local people who are running it, because you cannot manage football in Durgapur out of Kolkata. So then the question is about the local district football association which is there in Durgapur, are they strong enough or not? And that is something, the structure of the IFA is actually built around the clubs in Kolkata. Why aren't Argentine and Brazilian leagues not like EPL, La Liga with clubs, fans from around the world? I don't know, good question. Difficult to generally give you a thing. I think the European clubs have marketed themselves well. I think the Brazilian and Argentinian leagues are also, especially Argentinian, is something very difficult sometimes to understand. That they have, and their best players tend to go to Europe. That's been the case over I don't know how many years. Can FSTL drag AIFF to court for MRA? Akash, I don't see them dragging the AIFF to court. If the AIFF does what it's done, they will just say thank you very much, bye-bye. They'll just say tata, bye-bye. I think that's the position of FSTL at the moment. Because to me, that's a situation, it's a bit of a problem. That if, again, why would they drag them to court? Because the contract runs out. Someone needs to match that contract. They have matching rights to, if someone offers you a contract, but who's going to offer the AIFF a contract? Mukul says or asks, why didn't I see passion among Indian players represent the national team earlier? Most of the players didn't seem to care, and really broke my heart versus Bangladesh. Mukul, the passion thing is an issue. I agree with you. So therefore, I don't know why it is, but it was very, very evident that the players were not, in that mood to try and win that game. Bangladesh showed to me more passion, more fight, more grit than we did. And I think it was the Hamza Chaudhary factor that Hamza really got that team, to rally around him and to try and win that game. And, so therefore, that's the situation as it is. Hi, Blue, welcome back. Can you give an information about the Churchill brothers not allowing inter-Kashi FC practice is illegal? Blue, I've said this now multiple times today on this live. There are seem to be a lot of dirty tricks being played around this game. Churchill brothers has been trying to buy the fact that they are the victims in all of this, and the federation is supporting inter-Kashi and all of that, and a certain gentleman from Punjab has gotten involved in all really, really dirty tactics for whatever reason. I still don't know why. Makes no sense. And and therefore, I don't know. It's happening at a venue where it shouldn't. Match commissioner changed, referees from Nepal coming in. I don't know since when referees from Nepal are better than from India. All of this looks very, very awkward, very, very weird what the AIFF is doing at the moment. Why didn't, we just have this. We have good quality stadiums every towns of Bengal. We don't have infrastructure like Kerala to host something like SLK. Our small towns don't have top level hotels and transport facilities. Akash, all of that are basics, what you call good quality stadiums. I remember I did a tour of certain ones a while back. Not doing, if you want to do a proper league, and not just a league for the sake of doing a league. And as you said, hotels, transport, infrastructure is a problem itself. Money flowing in South American clubs are much less, Hannibal, much less than in Europe. Do you think if India wins Olympic 2037, there might be a chance for allowing origin players to play for India because they have to increase medal tally as a host? Vilas, yes. Because also under the Olympic Charter, I think I know under the Olympic Charter, players of origin are part of your overall, players who can represent you. So therefore that would happen. But yeah, let's wait for 2036 first, because then if we have to wait for that, then we're waiting at least another decade for things to change. I think it needs to happen much faster. I think against Bangladesh, our players were scared of players like Samba Chaudhary. I don't think so. There's no scared fact. If you were scared, you would have played differently. It's just, it was lackluster, I felt. I don't know why. Something was missing. Something was off. I don't know what it was, but the spark was missing on that day. another stadium that is getting renovated in Darjeeling is Gorkha Stadium. It has got top quality aesthetics. Yeah, Angry Birds. At the moment, it's just a mud ground, but if they are rebuilding it with an AstroTurf, it will be with stands and everything. Would be a lovely venue, one of the most beautiful venues that you could have in India. What happened to Sikkim Franchise League and Baichung's Club? I don't know about Sikkim United. Um, you know, and um, Sikkim United is still there. I don't know what level they play. I think they play the Sikkim League or whatever. And the franchises exist. No? It's Sanju Pradhan and Nirmal Chetri who are, I think, two of the key faces of that. So that league still exists as far as I know. Sorry. Is it you this time of the day, Amarjit? No, it's me, Abhijit. Someone actually got in touch this morning and said, listen, why not do a show before I head out to watch the watch along of Mumbai City? So therefore, I said, ठीक है, चलो, करते हैं. And that's why I've come early and wanted to talk a little bit about the ISL playoffs and or generally what we always speak about on the channel. If we don't know who is I-League champion even after league ends, how will the Super Cup be played? It's beyond weird, crazy. I don't know why people still think that AIFF shone the first year. Lou, you've added another angle to the whole thing. Because top three are supposed to play Super Cup. Again, people keep telling me it's all sorted and done, but I've not heard anything regarding the 100% confirmation. It's supposed to be in Odisha, but otherwise I don't know what's happening with the Super Cup. Do you think Bengal Franchise League is going to help, or is it a club-based league best? See, the problem outside of Kolkata is how strong is the club system, right? You have some district leagues, but if you have to play a Bengal league, I don't think these district teams have the financial strength to play a pan-Bengal league. That's my thought. So therefore, I think it is something, ideally you could get the one or the other district team or the better district teams to come and play in that league, whatever the Bengal Football League is going to be. Elsewhere where you might not have teams, maybe start franchises. So therefore, maybe merge it somehow or the other. That would be, in my opinion, the best. Kerala really has one of the best public infrastructure, and best part is that it's not limited to their capital, unlike Bengal. Okay. Yeah, but if you want to go up and down the coast in Kerala, sometimes, let's see. Bilas asked, do you think India with present squad can win against Bangladesh at home in AFC qualifiers because they are bringing more origin players? Bilas, in theory, yes. We need to beat anyone and everyone, but again, this team needs to find its ground. That's, I think, my biggest concern at the moment with this team, that this team is not as good as it should, needs to be. And the challenge is for this team to settle in, because again, the first match with Bangladesh, we were bad, and so therefore it's going to be tougher to play away in Dhaka against Bangladesh. If IFA wants to start a franchise league, they shouldn't bring foreigners. People will fill the stadium even if they bring local players, but we need professional setup, quality broadcasting. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. Again, there were plans between the IFA and Shrachi to set up a league. I don't know where they are at the moment on that. I haven't heard anything on that, to be honest. And I think if they're going to copy the Super League Kerala model, then I think two foreigners could be part of the mix. I don't know, but I don't know what they're going to do. Did you see Nagaland Football League? How is it? Hannibal, I've been not able to see the Nagaland Super League, but again, it's a start, so don't compare it with the others. OCI is like you can't vote and purchase land and represent the country in sporting event. If the third rule changes, then we're good to go right now. Is there any chances that are happening? Abhijit, people like me can purchase land, not farmland, but you can purchase land. You can buy property in India. So the main things that are is about voting and representing the country in sporting events. Again, voting is something which is not needed. But as you say, if the third part is taken care of, then the players could represent India in different sports. How do you see Bachchan Bhutia as administrator? Rishikesh, when has Bachchan Bhutia been an administrator? I cannot, you know, uh, 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 judge him as being an administrator because Bhai has never been an administrator. Bangladesh in talks with the J League origin player. Anibal, they are talking to anybody, everybody. They have multiple lists. So therefore, for me, yeah, they will get stronger, sort themselves out. Outside of Kolkata, there's non-existent club culture. I know an academic club in Midnapore, they don't even have money to buy kids. So Akash, that's the problem, right? That's the real problem of a Bengal league. If you would try and turn those local clubs into state level clubs, someone has to put in the money, and if you need to someone, yeah, that's something which is there. What is your view on Nepal Super League? Palash, hi, first of all. Um, I don't have any specific views on the Nepal Super League. I mean, I've heard about it, I've read a little about it, but you know, you know, um, so therefore, yeah, it's good that Nepal has a league. Best AIFF president, according to you, have you seen in RFTL? Really frustrating quality of the players. I have not seen any of the RFTL matches this season. Haven't had that. I'm got so much of work that even getting through this, these lives sometimes now gets difficult. And best player, I only know two, and that's President Dasmunsi and Praful Patel as proper presidents. Kalyan has to still prove himself. So far, it's not been too good. If you ask me, yeah, most probably be President Dasmunsi. I really saw, I don't remember, a village-based league in one of the northeast states, and for a moment it felt I was gazing on an Indian blue lock project. It could be Mizoram. Mizoram has these in the districts. Manipur has it as well. So therefore, yeah. Manda Taman is General Secretary of AIFF. Yeah. I would mind, but again, I don't think Mandar is interested to be the Secretary General. I would be surprised, but yeah. I'm not going to go into that political stuff. So, guys, let's stick to the football. Who likes whom and who doesn't? Angry Birds says no, after it's not that bad, but yeah, not too good. Jamshedpur has been one of the best. Okay. Hi, Kumar. Welcome back. I think our sports minister doesn't even know anything about our football problem. Prime Minister Modi said we are improving in football. I think someone giving Ron for yeah. I think that's one of the problems, and to me, yeah, and that's the biggest problem. You remember one person you've met or at least commented on your life seems to recognize new guys or anyone who's been a long time, or just you guys interest for being with? Abhijit, to me, yeah, there are certain people that I remember. Some people I don't. And to me, very very clearly, yeah, there's certain people you remember and certain people you don't. I'm asking, was a lot of promising young Nepali players have left the country for a better living? Some went to Australia on student visa. Palash, to me, that has happened. That is happening. And you know, to me, it's a loss of talent. So therefore, for me, that's a loss for Nepali football, for the league as well. But that is something which has been happening. So that's it. Today's prediction. As long as Mumbai City win, I'm fine. That's what I think. Very, very honest. Honestly, I think that's something that I can say, that I think that we are good enough in that way. But to me, there are 2-3 factors which I find interesting. BFC in the last game, of course, lost to Mumbai City, so that does play a role. Mumbai City has a number of injuries. BFC had more players in the Indian national team, so that's a lot of trouble. And sorry, just have to answer someone. And to me, I would just hope that, in my opinion, Bengaluru says edge, but anything can happen. Yeah, let's see. Angry Bird says Mumbai City FC is winning today. I'm damn sure, as a Mohun fan, I'm damn sure they are going to win. Okay, interesting. What lineup you want from Mumbai City FC? Blue, I would like to get the lineup that Peter thinks that is right. Kratky has to come out and decide who are the players that he wants, that he needs for this game to beat Mohun Bagan to beat Bengaluru FC to get into the semis. So therefore, for me, that's going to be the question that he needs to answer. Recent IT minister formed team of Indian origin Indians develop Indian AI like ChatGPT, but where are the efforts of Mr. Sports has been asked. Okay. See, those are easy ones, right? To get IT engineers or to get NRIs to chip in the economy and other things is very easy. In football and sports, it's very difficult. Abhijit says, in the second half of the Bangladesh game, did you see any improvements? At least some regained composure, confidence, figuring out how to solve the problem. I think the damage had been done. Abhijit, we were facing Bangladesh. We want to beat Bangladesh. We need to beat Bangladesh, but we didn't beat Bangladesh. That's the summary to me, right? And therefore, at the end of the day, we failed. As the Indian national football team, we have failed, period. Right, once more, reminder, if you haven't so far, do leave a like behind, do leave a share behind here as well on this video, if you like our discussion as always. And keep supporting the channel. Thanks everybody for doing that. That's important. That's why I do these conversation discussions. 16 likes so far. Thanks a lot for that. And do subscribe to the channel as well. We're closing in on the 2,500 mark. So thanks a lot as always for your support. Bangladesh not able to beat India even with Premier League standard play. Is it okay to say that? No, Rishikesh, because Hamza Chaudhary is a defensive player. If Hamza Chaudhary is an attacking player, then we can have a different discussion. I think that's what it is, right? So therefore, your smile emoji, I don't think is appropriate. And you saw, I felt Hamza was so much better than the rest of the team that was quality. The guy was quality and he showed it. So therefore, for me, let's see. Bangladesh will get other players. If Bangladesh can get a foreign striker into their setup, then we're in serious trouble. But Hamza showed his class across the field. And again, as I said with other players as well, be an attacker or be a defender, Um, you will not win every duel. You will not score of every opportunity. So these are all sort of realities that one has to keep in mind when we're talking about these things, right? Marcus said India will bid for Olympics 2036 in Gujarat, primarily Mumbai, Goa. Do you see it happening? I think it won't. Blue, let's wait and see what happens. India has to formally put in the bid. So far, you know, uh, and so therefore for me, we have to wait and see. One second, I just need to get up and get some water for myself. Because the problem here is that we have now with in this whole situation with the Olympics, India's only put on an MOU sorry, not an MOU, an LOI, letter of interest. So India needs to get its act together to showcase, to prove that India is able to host the Olympics, because India is going to be categorized is categorized in the lowest category in regard to teams, in regard to Olympic performances, in regard to medals. So those are realities of Indian sports. If I or you or anyone likes it or not, India, people tell me India's getting a lot more medals and a lot of fourth place finishes, but at the end of the day, nobody cares how many people finish fourth, right? So it's about gold, silver, bronze. Surely India's performances have been better, but other countries will improve as well over the next few Olympics. So the question is, can India improve much, much faster, much, much stronger than they have so far? And that's the challenge on India. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see if India can really evolve and develop, or if they can't. And that will be very, very interesting to see. As I say, it's going to be a challenge for the Indian sporting ecosystem to grow as fast as it's needed to be able to compete with the rest of the world. And that's the challenge. Infrastructure India can build. That's not going to be the question, right? If the government is behind it, if the state governments are behind it, they will build brilliant infrastructure to host the Olympics. Yeah, if football, as they say in Gujarat, in Goa, and in Mumbai, that means that Goa and Mumbai will get even better footballing infrastructure, which is then Olympics compliant. But the point at the end of the day is India needs to develop talent, and if India wants to host the 2036 Olympics, that is only 11 years away. So where is the talent hunt? Where are the talent programs to identify those kids who could represent us in the Olympics in 11 years? And that's the reality of things, right? So that's the way they are. After playing India on 25th, Hamza went on to play almost 90 minutes for Sheffield United versus Coventry. Frank Lampard coach team and made a match-winning contribution. That's great stamina. Some enchilada. That is what you expect of these kind of players who know to play week in, week out. And therefore, for Hamza, yeah, let's see. Last AIFF playoffs. Oh, FCB. That's a question I think nobody can answer at this moment. That's a question. Yeah, let's see. Also, the plan for Hamza was a flexible one after the captain and centre back got injured. He had to play more defensive. Yeah, see, he's a player who can play in defensive positions, and he did a very, very good job, in my opinion. Kalim is trying to sold every FFS to SSCN. I don't think so, because SSCN doesn't have the pockets to do what is needed of a partner of the AIFF. I think that's an unrealistic dream at the moment that is there, that they can sort themselves out in a way that SSCN or Shrachi as a group can take care of what the AIFF wants and needs. It needs to be a much, much bigger organization. Even if India allow origin players to play for them, then would Romani people would also be eligible for playing? I don't know if Romani people get OCIs. So if they do get OCIs, then anyone who gets an overseas citizen of India passport, so to say, or document can represent India. I personally don't like to see sports as just victories or defeats, more like problem solving, like every country has the overseas players. Now we deal with it. Okay, Abhijit. Defeats are also not not all bad, and victories are also so good. Brazil have won 5 trophies, has that fixed everything in Brazil society? I like Japan. Have a problem, no, let's figure it out. Yeah, but you're comparing two different worlds. To compare Japan and to compare Brazil is those two are not comparable. I think championship English third division standard is higher than most regional competition. How good do you think it is? Better than SAF at least. The championship is the second tier of English football. It's not the third tier. It's the second tier of English football, just below the Premier League, and its standards is. Did you see any player in that game, India versus Bangladesh, who is even close to Hamza Chaudhary? So therefore, there's no discussion. That's why I say that if India really focuses on getting players of Indian origin, Danny Bath is of course getting slowly old, but still, he would give us defensive solidity. Jan Danda, Dylan Markandi, Ashan Hundal, just to name a few, X more that we could think about, would give us a different quality. Hamza's inclusion in their team, in theory, other origin of will also be more confident to join them. Yeah. Look, very, very clearly, Hamza has now opened the door. They've had players like Jamal Bhuyan coming back and playing for Bangladesh. Not only that, he went into the league, he even played in India once he for Mohammedan Sporting. So that's also a thing, so therefore, that is something that Bangladesh now can go out into the market and say, you know what, our best origin player at this moment has joined us. Are you interested? So that's the thing. What was Hamza doing great in last match against us? Abhijit, the sheer presence, the understanding of how to cut off certain situations, how to play in certain situations. That is something that Hamza Chaudhary showed in that match. And that is the quality that he simply possesses, period. That's something he's better than the others. And he showcased that. He clearly showcased that. And to me, he was just as good. Therefore, to me, that was the quality that he possesses. I was not sure because I'll be honest, with all the hype that there was in Bangladesh, I think the hype got a little too much, but he showed composure, kept his cool, kept his team together. Yeah, that's what I expect. And it was only his first match for Bangladesh, so I think he'll get better for Bangladesh in the jersey. Do you think realistically Kalyan Chaubey has the power to convince the government about OCI playing for India? Vilas, if you ask me that way, no. No, I don't think so. I think that it needs other people. It needs a concerted effort of people to be able to convince the government to say, you know what, we will need everyone to chip in on that front. Bharat versus sir, recently saw Reliance develop runners who can run in 10.2 seconds, but Olympic standard is 9.6 seconds. Bharat, India is in a lot of areas in regard to Olympic sports quite a bit behind. So India needs to evolve, India needs to develop. That needs to happen. That's happening now. They're trying, they're doing, but it will take time. It will not happen overnight. So therefore, these are all realities that one has to keep in mind. Inter Kashi will win the title. I'm 100% confident, says Jose Antonio Habas. Yeah, what else is he supposed to say? And he is a big match coach who knows, and let's see what he can do. How can India deal with Hamza and other overseas Bangladesh players in the game in Dhaka? We just need to be better, first of all, overall, and how we deal with them. We'll have to see who all plays. I think now to speculate what's going to happen in November makes no sense. If there was no Hamza, India would have steamrolled Bangladesh, possibly winning by 3-4 goals. Let's be realistic about the standards here. Yeah. Samin Chalada, I think, very, very right that Hamza is of a level that is different to what we're normally used to. And therefore, that's something that you have to keep in mind, that a player of his class, of his caliber, if he's able to play and showcase it, the guy's experience, you're not getting a 21-year-old, you're getting a 27-year-old who is sort of in his prime and knows his football and is going to showcase that, right? And so therefore, that's what it is. FCB, I've answered your question on the last ISL playoffs. You've asked it now 3 times. It could be what I've said. Aram says, now I just had to explain to a guy online why AIFF cannot run a league like ISL. I have new appreciation for what you do on here. It's this incredible training. Aram, we have too many people in this ecosystem of Indian football who think they know and understand things. Sorry, and that's, yeah, I'll be arrogant on that, right? I've got my experience, I've got my understanding, and I also don't say I'm always right, So therefore, to me, also there are a lot of people trying to justify that the AIFF can do it. There are Reliance haters. There are people who don't want Reliance involved. There are people who are just, I don't know what, and that's the problem. That is the problem that we have in Indian football. There are too many people involved in this ecosystem who I think and I believe should not be part of the ecosystem. They're harming, they're damaging, they're destroying the system. That is sadly the reality of where we stand today. So that has to change. There is a guy, like a javelin coach, he tweets about Neeraj, the younger throwers are not able to throw up above 80 meters plus with consistency in spite of decent money being invested on them. Anybody, you don't grow Olympic champions on some tree, pour some water on, pour some water on them, and then, they will do the same thing. It is not so easy. Sports is long work. You might not find a Neeraj Chopra in 2-3 generations. So therefore, yeah, that's the thing. Biggest fear as a Bangladeshi is that if Hamza is injured or unavailable, we're done for. So yeah, let's see how Bangladesh integrates the others that are set to come, and then let's wait and see what Bangladesh is or is not able to do. Is ISL really going to be closed? Is it really the end of Indian football? Shokas, it is a possibility. I mean, why are we talking about this possibility? Why did the AIFF not sort this thing out a year or 18 months ago? Right? Either say, you know what, it is the end, and then start something fresh. So therefore, let's see what happens. India at any cost shouldn't do that Olympic stunt. It will suit a massive waste of money. Yeah, let's see what they do or don't do. We must also keep in mind that our regular start players, at least 4 of them, don't know how they would have performed, but certainly could have bolstered the squad. Yeah, Mrinal, but they might have made us a little better, but we were not present. So therefore, I don't know if the mentality would have changed. Which is why I like hearing what you have to say about Indian football, sort of watching out for things we need to watch out for in Bangladesh. Thanks, Sam Enchilada. I'm just being honest, right? So as much as I can. Abhijit says, personally, I want Bangladeshi teams like us to get their best overseas players. Let's just stop crying and hiding behind excuses. Let's solve a really tough problem. Let's be the people who like a challenge. Yeah, good point, Abhijit. But when will that happen? That's the big question, I think, about Indian football, because we haven't done it. We need to do these things, and we have not done it, and therefore we are stuck where we are at this moment, and therefore that's a big challenge at this moment in time, and things really have, in my opinion at least, have not edged forward like they should have. Right? That's the challenge of where we are at the moment. What do you think about football in Maharashtra? FCB, similar to Bengal football, Maharashtra football is mainly Mumbai, a little bit of Pune, and a little bit of Kolhapur, and even Nagpur has its football in other places, but we don't know anything about it. So therefore, WIFA actually needs to do much more pan Maharashtra. Last ISL was this league, and quickly, PC Gamer Tag, no, we're in the 11th season. We've always had a window of 10, 12 years of a league. The I-League started in 96, ended in 2006. So that means, yeah, that was actually 11 seasons. Then you had the I-League, which is still running, but as a top tier, it ran about 10, 12 years. And now with the ISL, that's there and there. So, oopala, 1 second. Bangladesh were the better team, says Indian Football. Yeah, Shan, period. You're utterly right. And that's the point. Bangladesh were the better team. And we were not good enough. And that's the problem. Why are we not hosting events like Under 17 World Cup anymore? Akash, we've hosted 2 Under 17 World Cups. I think we are out of that cycle. Now with the bigger Under 17 World Cup, I don't know if India could host a 48 team tournament. Same applies for women's. I think we need to then next look at under 20, under 20 men's and women's. But the AIFF pulled out of hosting the 27 AFC Asian Cup. And therefore, I think that's a general mood in the AIFF. Let Bangladesh hire their origin players and realize we deserve that with our ISL goats, says Akash. What's your take on the trolling and taunting between Gurpreet Singh Sandhu and Vishal Keth? Isn't it amateur? Yeah, it's very amateurish thing to see, both from both sides. Makes no sense to me, but it is happening. So yeah, let's see how far they get with it. Singh and Udanta was really bad, wasn't it? Yeah, they didn't play well, simply said. And those were the players who did well. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens. Our sports minister is the most inactive ministry. I think our sports minister doesn't even know the names of our Indian football, says Vilash. Yeah, let's see. Stephen Constantine should be brought back, says Indian food and football. Sorry, Shan. Let's wait and see what happens. At the moment, he's still with Pakistan. He's trying to do a job over there. So let's see what happens with Stephen on that front. Arnav says Mohun Bagan Supergiant versus FC Goa final. Arnav, let's get through the first playoff round. We've got Bengaluru FC versus Mumbai City tonight, and then tomorrow Northeast United versus Jamshedpur FC. So let those matches go through. Let's see who qualifies for the semis, and then see who wins the semis and reaches the final. We still have a lot to go until 12th of April. A lot of football to be played. So let's wait and see. And again, let the ISL playoffs begin tonight, and then let's see what the teams do in their respective matches. The challenges on all teams, right? So therefore, we will have to see that. Right, 1 hour and 8 minutes nearly. If you haven't liking what you're seeing, what you're hearing, do leave a like behind. 20 likes so far. Thanks a lot, guys. And share it with other people. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, do that. And then let's try and grow the community. We're closing in on the 2,500 mark. And thank you, everybody who's following the channel. The AIFF president has started the OSI rumor again. It's just like the past, or is this so-called 45 player list is real? Showcast, I know of a 28 player list that I had shared with the AIFF a while back. I don't know where the number of 55 comes from, but normally they only have a list of 28 players. Pakistanis are talking with former Tajikistan coach Peter Segat. Okay, Hannibal, let's see. What happens to Qatar in Asian Cup? They just lost to Kyrgyzstan. Aram, it's not about Asian Cup. They are in the World Cup qualifiers. They're double champions. They've already qualified for the Asian Cup. And World Cup qualifiers, they're also going to get into the third round. Into the fourth and final round of Asian qualifiers. So maybe I don't know. Did they play the best team? I don't even know. Right. So those are some stuff which I honestly do not know. After watching the Bangladesh game, how do you think India should have approached the game? To me, 2 things were missing. Big misses for me in that game. Mentality and passion. If we had that, I think we would have done a lot better. Without that, you saw how it ended, and therefore that's my concern. That was my concern. That is my concern, and therefore we didn't do well. right? That's the big problem, that Manolo should have stuck to his 4-2-3-1 system, banked on that experience, and yeah, but it's always easier afterwards to say certain things, but you don't know if it would have worked, right? We're speculating because we were there we were. Heard that Manolo was hired as AIFF did not have much budget post this too much retrenchment. Others were asking high salaries. This is true. I mean, there have been so many rumors about those things. It wasn't about the money factor. They wanted an ISL knowing coach or someone who's worked in the ISL or was working, and then this opportunity came along and they took it. FCB is asking Arun sir predictions on who will lift the Champions League trophy in Munich this season. See, you've got the usual suspects. I would say Real Madrid is one of them. Barcelona has done very well in the Champions League and the league as well. Bayern Munich cannot be counted out because it's in Munich. So I would hope that Bayern win this time around. Final Daum. PSG look very, very good. Paris Saint-Germain and the Luis Enrique look very, very good. To eliminate Liverpool is not an easy thing. And so therefore, those would be most probably, the potential favorites for the Champions League crown. So they will really work on bringing in OCI players, or is it useless? I mean, I felt bad seeing Jan and Danny comment below the athletes and pro. Seems like they really want to represent our country. Shokas, at the moment, there's no conversation going on. And as you correctly said, Danny, Jan, Dylan, Sean, XYZ, they're ready to play for us. So therefore, we need to do our homework, which the AIFF is not doing. And therefore, these players are not playing for us. That's the current reality of Indian football. These players would be willing to play for us. So let's wait and see what happens. At the moment, they're not playing for us. Is this AIFF drama ever going to end, or is it a perpetual problem for us football fans? See, the AIFF drama wasn't there, right? This is a last 3-4 year story. The AIFF was running calmly, quietly, was doing its job, and now it's gotten into this whole chaotic situation. I hope it ends. I hope it changes, and I hope things are differently. So, but at the moment, without the right people running it, I don't think things will happen. How can you solve the mentality problem? Obviously, that's for the coach to figure out, find means and ways that the players perform. That is tough in itself, I guess. But I think Manolo is smart enough to find solutions to that and get the best out of the team. Harry Kane winning Bundesliga and UEFA Champions League in a single season would be insane. Yeah, Anima, that would change the whole perception about Harry, right? Being sort of never been able to lift a trophy. As a Dito Mohun fan, I hope Bayern don't win. Would be nice if PSG do something. Okay. If Gurpreet is back and we have some Bengali players who would really want to win against Bangladesh, will that help? Who are the options? Shovik, Tangri, Vikram. Obviously, it's not a Bengali thing to me. It is, to me, it's generally about the performance. Yes, I think Gurpreet needs to be back. I hope Changte, Brandon, Manveer, take even Anirudh Thapa, even Sahal into the mix, Vikram, all these guys need to be back, so then we'll be stronger. The Messiah came by and messed things up, got us banned. That he did us a favor. Yeah, and the less said, the better, I would say. Did you like Germany's Nation League performance? What happened to Brazil? I didn't see what Brazil has been doing. I know only that the results have been bad, so I can't comment on it. And Germany's National League, it was good, but again against Italy, you score a fourth, you kill off the game, and you're done. Germany hosting the Nations League final as well, so that's an advantage. So I hope that Germany wins the UEFA Nations League in June. Right. Have I answered all your questions? 1 hour, 15 minutes through on this Saturday early afternoon, normally an unusual time for me to come online. If you have anything more to throw at me. The ISL playoffs begin in a little while tonight. 7:30 kickoff at the Kantirava. Bengaluru FC hosting Mumbai City Football Club, and then tomorrow Northeast United versus Jamshedpur FC at the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in Shillong, and then of course the semi-finals next week. Who will be facing Mohun Bagan? Who will be facing FC Goa? That's the big question. And to me, you know, very interesting to see what happens. So, yeah, interesting, of course. Interkashi facing Churchill Bells tomorrow in the I-League. That's going to be a very interesting thing. And yeah, let's wait and see what happens over there. Next World Cup Final Four predictions. FCB 2A, way too early. We don't even know how the teams are shaping up. 48 tournaments, you have to get through that. Way too early to talk about World Cup next year. Not a Totenhosen fan. Some enchilada, there are certain songs that I like, but it's not my sort of sound of music to say. But yeah, legendary band. Brazil lost the game the same way India did, lost the midfield battle and took opponent lightly. Okay. Obviously, Brazil against Argentina, they will never take the opponent lightly. It's a question of quality. I've not seen it, but that would be my logic. My answer to you would be that they were not able to cope with the talent that Argentina simply have, and therefore they lost. Very simple. Brazil at the moment isn't a world-class team. It has world-class players, but it's not a world-class team. That's a different. And to compare with India in any way is What is wrong with Brazil despite having quite decent potential stars? They seem to be underperforming at the world stage, or is it too much of club loyalty for the players? I don't think that, as I said just now, I don't think that Brazil has that kind of quality that the team has had. And I think the team lacks leaders. It has some great individuals, but it's not a great team at the moment. I think that's the problem that Brazil has. And they need to find solutions to that. Otherwise, this team is not going to be able to compete in any big way to get into the latter stages of the next World Cup. Because if it was 4 teams or 4.5 teams qualifying from South America, Brazil could be in danger. And therefore, that's what I was seeing. Do you think Som can break through into the first team in Radomania? Angry Birds, I hope, but I don't know. He wasn't ready for senior level football. We saw that at the Kerala Blasters, and the level at which he's playing in Slovenia is higher. So give him at least this season. Let's see what happens next season, and then what decisions they take on. Does he stay at the club? Does he move maybe to another team where he's going to get first team action? He's still 19, right? So we shouldn't forget that. Hi, Utkarsh. How's Mumbai going to line up? Are there any changes expected? Utkarsh, some forced changes will be there because there's no Brandon, there's no Tini, there's no Changte, from what I've heard. Let's see if there's surprises and suddenly someone of that trio is fit. Nicolas Careles, I think, should be fitter, so that's a good thing that he will start. I guess Jorge Ortiz will be there. Joel Van Neef will be there, and then let's see what else we do. Dark Roma most probably in defense, so let's see what we do. Considering that all teams in our group had goalless draws, are we still in a decent position to qualify, or a draw at home does it for us? Aram, I think nothing has been lost. For India, nothing has been lost. As you say, 2 goalless draws in the 2 opening matches means all 4 teams on the same points. Therefore, now the Hong Kong game gained significance for India. Don't you think the criticism of Neymar was over the top? He still had a brilliant career. He seemed to carry Brazil on his shoulders. I don't think he carried Brazil on his shoulders. I think he was a liability. I think Brazil were better than what they did. And again, that 7-1 loss to Germany is just a summary of that, because they just lived off hype and not of substance. Apart from Japan, Australia, all the other teams, when they face a quality opponent, they just melt away. Saudi against Russia, Iran against US, the Tigers become house cat. Okay, Abhijit. Not out 100 says जब गुरप्रीत फॉरेन लीग खेल के आए तब 2015 to 2016 वो Emiliano जैसे goalkeeping कर रहे थे. He came back in 2017, and I would say Emiliano Martinez is at a different level, but yeah, Gurpreet was at a better level than he's at the moment. Ronaldo Abni Bharti is playing in Bolivian First Division. His brother is playing at the U20 level for Colombia First Division. Did you have any news about them? Angry Birds. I've heard those names now for years. I never know what level they played. They were in Europe, I think, at some stage, and they were looking for trials, and then they played. You know, past the 7-1 thrashing by Germany, Brazil seemed to have fallen behind by at least 5 to 7 years of others. They never recovered from that defeat. Yeah, very good point, right? Brazil have never been able to do that again, what they are capable or what they perceive to be capable of. Hi, Vinayak. Welcome back. Hope you're doing fine. Som sits in bench as second choice goalkeeper in league games. Yeah, Anibal, but for him, the training, the competition that he gets in that team is going to be high, and maybe he going to get matches in the B team. So that's good enough for him at the moment. Let's see if today's ISL game have pre-ISL views. Someone here, please check and comment in next live. I think for the playoffs, they will have previews. I think this draw will help us in the middle of qualifiers, whereas in World Cup qualifiers, we had a good start and we took for granted the middle phase. Interesting observation. Angry Birds could be perceived that way or could be perceived in a different way, but for India, being a little bit under pressure might not be that bad. As you say, after the win against Kuwait, we're like, oh yeah, we're going fine. We're going to lose to Qatar and we're going to get points against Afghanistan. And then you get 1 out of 6 and then the problem is there. Mohun and Sporting future. Aram, for him, for the club, I think it's a question of Shachi putting the money in and then pushing the club, and then let's see what they do, right? A lot also depends on what Reliance is going to do, if the ISL survives or if the ISL doesn't, and then we'll see what happens. While Gurpreet came back, he didn't get many chance to play, but he should have stayed in Europe. Who says he didn't get chance to play? Akash. In the third season, he was towards the end the regular goalkeeper at Starbet, and he came back because BFC made him a ridiculous financial offer which he at the time could not and did not turn down, right? Shachi is accusing Bunker Hill for the salary debacle. Akash, they have got outstanding payments from what I hear everywhere, so I think Shachi should ask itself rather than point at others. Angry Bird says no, but Koval is already out of goal position. Some Portugal has only kept 1 clean sheet and got 1 win in 7 games. I hope it matters of time before Som gets his chance. See, these stats are nice to look at. The question is, does the coach trust you to be the number 1 goalkeeper, or does he give you a chance to try to be number 1 goalkeeper? So that's the question that Som is there for Som. Why Mumbai City's youth teams aren't doing well? They have the resources and know how's right. Abhijit, I thought they're doing okay, no? They are under 13, under 15, under 17s, as well as the RFTL teams are there, but they're not a top team because they focus on Mumbai-based talent rather than going around the country, and that's then in that dinner day is a drawback. Right, 1 hour 25 minutes. Once again, if you haven't, do leave a like behind, do leave a share behind. On this Saturday afternoon live, yes, an unusual time for me to go online because I'll be going to the Mumbai City FC screening a little later on. Look forward to that and seeing maybe some of the players, not players, but some of the people that I know, and therefore do support the channel. Also, it's been 10 years for 2014. What do you think about the World Cup? Please tell short. 2014 was a great experience. Germany won it in Brazil. It wasn't always an easy ride for Germany. But in the end, if you look at the way they beat Argentina to win it, yeah, that was good. And as Adam says, the 7-1, I mean, that was the icing on the cake. I remember we were supposed to go to public viewing. We were supposed to do some work over there. Storm warning, cancelled. We went to a bar. The bar said for every German goal, there are going to be drinks. After the third, nobody wanted anything anymore. Yeah, these are realities. Is Joao Felix another case of a future star lost? Heard that there is a possible move to Galatasaray in the coming season. There are tons of these players where we think, they're going to be the next Cristiano Ronaldo or this or that or whatever, and then they fall by the wayside. And Joao Felix signed for a lot of money by Atletico a while back, has not lived up to that expectation. That's the reality. Is it practical to hope for Indian young talents will go abroad? In what situation it can happen? Why Pandita isn't playing? Indian young talents going abroad looks very difficult. Very, very difficult, very, very tough. Because and Ishan isn't playing because Ishan was injured for a long time this season, and Ishan has been more of I come in and play a little bit here and there than a regular starter for his team. Let me just pull in the curtain as the sun comes around. Lovely weather here in Mumbai. Sorry. So that's the reality. In Gurpreet Singh, you had an international standard keeper. The new guy was just toothless. If body language is anything to go by, he seemed just so out of place. Simon Chalada, I've said that to people that I don't think, that Vishal Kate as an international keeper because of not being as confident, I think is the main thing. And yeah, let's see. Which game do you think is one of the best games in recent World Cups? I think the final of the last one, Argentina-France. Incredible game. So 25th and court had to government verdict on election. What happened and why it not happened amid this? Kalyan will get removed and new man come with mind of vision to bring voice. Satyam, welcome back. Very simply said, the court has pushed it to the 2nd to the 3rd of next week. So there will be future hearings. And then let's see what decisions do they take. And even if they remove Kalyan, then FIFA is going to ban us, right? So we have to be very careful. Do you think Vishal revived in latter part of the Bangladesh game? Reviving in a latter part of a game is nice to have, but if someone makes so basic mistakes, then he's a liability. I really want Pandita to come to Northeast United to see. Okay, Aram. When I saw Germany of 2002, okay, FCB. Why some incredibly talented players just get disappeared? The mentality, personal, like the challenge, and obviously many reasons. Injuries, it could be your own performance, lifestyle, coach doesn't like you, teammates, whatever. There are multiple reasons. Which country do you support in FIFA World Cup? Kunal, Germany. As a citizen of the Federal Republic of Germany, I am a fan, not only a fan, I've even worked here for the DFB in the past. I've worked for the German Federation as well. So yes, I'm a Germany fan. Do you think the ISL TV viewership numbers, how much has it declined from the first few seasons? Do you know the ISL TV viewership numbers? RS, I don't know the current ones, but I do know that the numbers have become less compared to what was the case in the initial phases of the Indian Super League. Yes. I would say if Northeast United see once an Indian striker, go for Suhail Bhatt. Maybe he can be groomed a little bit. Angry Birds, one of those players who I think has a ceiling, and I don't think he's already reached that ceiling. अगर ईशान पंडिता पंजाब एफसी में आ जाए तो उसको गेम टाइम मिल जाएगा. Okay, yeah, it could be the case. Question is, does Punjab FC want to spend that much of money on Ishan? And does Ishan want to go there? Very interesting where Ishan now goes. Or does Ishan say, you know what, I'm not ready, let me go back to Spain? Might also be an option for him. Komal Thatal was the biggest blowdown in recent times. Yeah, Akash. Mohammad Supergiant won't release Suhail, says Aram. Why any players seem to be so uncomfortable under pressure? How can Manolo solve it? Keep the ball in the opponent's half. How do you rate Sana? See, our football quality, basics, match, sharpness, coolness, all of these things are a problem. That's why we're struggling with these things now. So therefore, let's wait and see. Adriano falling from grace was one of the saddest. Losing his father made him resort to the drink to cope. I really feel for him there. Some rise above, but you can't. You can also see why some don't manage. Yeah, I mean, listen, the life at the top, I think, for any celebrity star or whatever is not easy. Yeah, and so therefore, for me, yeah, um, these are there are a lot of these stories in Indian football, international football, that these people, yeah, have struggled with their lives. One day India beat Germany. Ha, just kidding. Who knows, Kunal? Maybe it will happen one day, but at the moment, that looks very difficult to very unlikely from happening, right? So therefore, these are things Indian football needs to look at itself, needs to grow, needs to move to the next level, and therefore that's so therefore let's wait and see. What are the chances of Punjab FC playing games in Punjab next season? I honestly don't think there is a chance. I think they still have one more year to go in Delhi, but I hope that they move on. When I saw Germany of 2014 and 2000, Germany looked so strong and well poised. See, now from 2000 has been playing according to the trend rather than the style before. FCB, they've been playing differently, but again, it depends on the player who you have, right? You can't stick to a style. A coach, a team needs to be flexible, especially in national team. You can't buy players, right? You have to work with the player material available. And that's the thing what Germany's doing. Can Sana Ashir play national team? Sana has played national team Abhijit, so yes, Ashir needs to get a little better, but yeah, maybe will become an option. Aram says, not in my lifetime, India beating Germany. Akash says, in 2014, 15, 16, ISL was huge compared to today's ISL. I was in college those days. People used to keep their TV outside, and 30, 40 people used to gather to just to watch. Yeah, I mean, we had superstars at the time, right? Which we don't have anymore. That's the reality. Do you think the Nopal League is a success or just another hopeless thing? Angry Birds, it is a success now. Let's see how many players really make it to the top. Yeah. PIOCI players are at par, but I would like to see Indian players who are training or applying their trade in foreign leagues should be given a chance to represent Indian colors. Forum, who are these players? Where are those players that you're talking about? We've seen that lower level players from Spain, we take the example of Ishan Pandita and Jay Gupta, come in, do well, but can't maintain the standard, right? So therefore, that's the reality of things. These guys are of a certain level, and now you have to see how they can perform. And we don't have Indian passport holders at the moment elsewhere who are just waiting to be called up. If that was the case, they would have done it. Our clubs used to be absolute jam packed just to watch ISL. Yeah, Akash, there was a huge level of interest in those days. In evening, tea shops were full and used to shout in front of TV. Good old days. Yeah, crazy. OCI, not OIC. Yeah. Yeah. Some people say OIC, as I've seen overseas Indian citizen, I think they call it, right? So, but it is the OCI card, which is the documentation. So, guys, once more, if you haven't, yeah, Aram with the explanation, overseas citizen of India. Thank you very much. If you haven't, do leave a like behind, to share. this live, this video. Look at the other content on the site as well. If you like what you're seeing, do also subscribe to the channel. We're slowly closing in on the 2,500 mark. So thanks a lot, guys, for that. And yeah, as I said, do look at the shorter videos. Today I made something on the Kerala Blasters and their season in the ISL. Before that, Manolo's mistakes against Bangladesh, disappointment of the Indian national team, India was Bangladesh in general, a lot of other things as well. So do watch it and do share it. How do you rank these players in terms of pure talent? Pedri, Musiala, Vitinha, Wirtz. Pure talent. Musiala, Pedri, Wirtz, Vitinha would be my list if you ask me, RS. Just now press the like button. Thank you, FCB. Important, if you guys press the like button, then more people can join in and enjoy, or the algorithm helps it as well. So therefore, any like, when you come in, do leave a like behind, that helps. I still remember the first goal of ours by Jackson in the Under-17 World Cup. A whole town cheered for that goal. Yeah, Akash, I do remember that. When Del Piero was playing in Delhi, commentators were saying India players seems to be not on same wavelength with him. Quality of that is also a key factor. Yeah, that's a fact. Del Piero was a world-class player. Do people in Bangladesh, Nepal watch ISL or at least the playoffs? I wouldn't know. No, I do not know if that's the case. We love football, but football doesn't love us. Well, it's, again, football loves you, but does the country love you in regard to football? That should be the question that should be asking, right? Okay, guys, I need to leave in a few minutes for the screening and watch along of the game between Mumbai City and Bengaluru FC here in Mumbai. Once more, like, share, and subscribe arunfoot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias. Visit arunfoot.com, and I'll be back in the coming days. Not sure if I'll be able to do a live at some stage tomorrow, or what about the coming days? I know Monday I won't be able. Tuesday I'm traveling back to Germany, so maybe the real next live gonna be on Wednesday. But do watch the short videos, do support the channel, share it with other people. Let's grow the community, and let's hope that. Thanks. So good luck. Thanks, Akash, and good to hear that one Bangladesh guy was asking me a link for ISL. That's good to hear. And Aram says, I can't believe Berbatov's feet have touched up pitches. Bye. And Roshan saying, going to public screen in Mumbai? Yes, I am. There's a screening happening at a pub, so I'll be going for that, Roshan. Looking forward to that. And Forum says, NFL days were better when you have to say now in terms of game quality and foreign players quality. No. The game quality has improved leaps and bounds in regard to foreigners. Certainly, overall, football has changed since the NFL days, so therefore, the comparison doesn't hold. Right, so let me finish this live on this Saturday afternoon. Thanks for joining in this unusual hour. Mumbai City facing Bengaluru FC in Bangalore tonight, and tomorrow Northeast United hosting Jamshedpur FC in the ISL playoffs, in the one-off playoffs. And then tomorrow also, Churchill Brothers versus Interkashi, a lot happening in Goa. So let's see what happens there. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll be back with you very, very soon.